I think I am a short in stature female, and often in a room I might be the sole woman and 17 men in this industry, and it will always be assumed that I am there to take the minutes and pour the tea, and I may be more senior than half of those people in that room, but because of my gender and my stature, it is assumed that I will play the camp mum role. And I think that is around unconscious bias, just what people do, what they assume, and that's where we're at in society. So I think it affects all of us all the time, and it's not to say that unconscious bias is just a male thing. We all have unconscious bias. We all gravitate to like, so somebody like me, by default, and I think we all need to just be aware that we have it, and that we need, particularly for future focused and innovative businesses, we are looking for diversity of thinking, and to make sure that we don't just employ people the same as us, otherwise we're going to get the same results, and we're wanting for better results. We're wanting for more innovative and creative businesses, and so we need people who are different, who think differently, who approach a problem in a different way, who have different relationships with other people. And by that way, we are able to better reflect our customer base. We are better able to think of the needs, or more diverse needs, of our clients. And so I think being really conscious about our unconscious bias, maybe we need to have conscious bias, I think that is something that everyone would do well to consider. So we've just commissioned a survey through the WIN network, and work and home now are much closer, and so sharing parenting is really important, because at the moment it still seems like most of that parenting responsibility sits on the shoulders of women. So they are the ones who quickly rush home after work to pick the kids up from school, and so their networking opportunities are the ones that cannot be furthered. I think, if we're really going to be egalitarian about this, we need to share the tasks at home. We need to normalise also flexibility for men in the workplace, just as for women in the workplace. And whether it be for a family or sporting or Ironman training or whatever, I think flexibility in the workplace is of benefit to everybody, both to men and women, and also the company, because we find that by giving members or staff members flexibility, their loyalty to the company is far greater. I know some of our member organisations are also looking at other ways of job sharing. Another construct is the term time contract, where some organisations let their staff members work during the term time and then have the school holidays free so they can be with their kids during that time. There's also glide time, flexi time, part-time. There's a lot of ways you can skin this cat, and I think these days flexibility works both ways. It works for our families, but I also think it brings on board a whole range of other people who perhaps couldn't work part-time, and it keeps their skills in the industry. Quotas can be quite polarising. You're either for or against them, and I have to say that I'm an advocate for quotas, because until we have what's called a tipping point of between 25 and 30% of the minority group on a board or in a situation, it's really hard to have that voice heard. So they say for boards you need at least 25 to 30% of the board membership to be women or to be of a different group to have that voice heard. So initially people say, well, quotas are no good because we're just going to get anybody in the role. But to be honest, the pace in which we are changing is too slow. And if we wait for the right thing to happen, I think we're going to be waiting a long time. This year is the anniversary, or the 125th anniversary for suffrage, and I think some of those women would look to where we are now 125 years down the track, and they'd be pretty disappointed to look at some of the board compositions, to look at the industry leadership composition and go, really, have we achieved what we desired to achieve? So I think quotas are useful. I think they are something to stimulate action, because without it, we're not going to get the change. Having said that, again, quotas are not the silver bullet. I think also, in addition to quotas, we need reporting. So we need to put our stake in the ground. We need to report on what our current numbers are around diversity, and we need to put out there what our future desired state is and what we're going to do to achieve that. If we don't have transparency around this, we're never going to affect any change.